The burning desire to be in the limelight. However, imagine life boxing you to a tiny corner, to a point of no return. No shoulder to lean on, no soul to listen to your feeble voice, and only option remaining is to brace the cold alone and go through it alone. That's how mental health works.
My name is Eunice Juma. I'm a fourth-year student at the University of Nairobi. And speaking of mental health, we should all strive to create awareness, as this gives people who are struggling or going through these issues an opportunity to come forward and talk about it instead of keeping it to themselves and it coming to affect them later. We should all be kind and nice to one another.
Mental health is a big problem in Kenya, and we are ranked number 5 in countries that were assessed in the year 2017 in Africa, and among 10 people in Kenya, one person is said to have a mental health condition. Okay, would you tell us what was his experience like? What were his challenges, maybe?
It comes with a lot of challenges and a very heavy burden on it. That when you don't have someone to look after you, you may really suffer a lot. So to his maybe relief, maybe I was there for him, and we tried and solved some problems. We reached out for medication, and finally he got healed.
So you will say that mental illness is something that's real?
Yes, it is very real, and many people are assuming it, and many people don't know it. Many people are going through a lot and they don't know maybe the cause of it is mental illness. Yes, it is advisable that you go and check your health.
Worldwide, at least 13% of people between the ages 10 and 19 live with a diagnosed mental health disorder. Adolescents' mental health is highly complex, understudied, and underfunded. Anxiety and depression constitute more than 40% of mental health disorders among young people. Worldwide, the most common treatment for anxiety and depression is a class of drugs called selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, which increase serotonin levels in the brain and are intended to enhance emotion and the mood.
So went to engineering school between Form 1 and Form 3. But in Form 3, we had a lot of disagreements with the principal based on the fact that I was Adventist then, and he had refused for Adventist kids to be going to church on Saturday. So our church was banned. So we were like, I felt very uncomfortable. I felt I wasn't going to be able to be very comfortable because religion was a huge thing for me. I grew up in a very Adventist family, so I found it hard to concentrate with an unstable mind. Yeah. So at Form 3, I decided to go to an purely Adventist school so I could have peace studying. And my parents kind of disagreed with me, and we had, it was kind of a rough transition because it was the last year of high school, and I wanted to go to a school where I wanted to think independently. That's what I've always desired, to think independently and be my own person. That listen to my parents and listen to people around me, but choose who I want to be.
By contrast, researchers have found that improving young people's cognitive and interpersonal skills can be more effective in preventing and treating anxiety and depression under certain circumstances, although the reason is not known. For instance, a concept known as psychological distancing can help to prevent and to alleviate depression and anxiety.
So nafika time unajaribu, unatafuta hustles, unapambana huku na huku, lakini kila kitu inakataa. Una struggle huku na huku, kila kitu inakataa. Like every day you wake up in the morning, go out, walk, unatembea hadi jioni, lakini bado inakataa. So it got a time, by the way, it struck me by the way so much got me hadi nifanya kidogo hadi niko addict to alcohol na nini, but thank God nikaenda church kiasi, then kwa hizo meetings za my youth na nini, I talked to our youth leader and akani connect na our father kwa church huko St. Paul's Catholic. So kwenda huko hivyo akaniongelesha kidogo hapa na pale, akani advise hapa na pale, na akanipatia way forward. He linked me with a friend of his, by the way, akanipatia a little gig yenye nafanya saa hizi, na by the way it came out positive. Nilikuwa give up, nilikuwa lose hope, nilikuwa nimejua saa hizi penye life imefika, so difficult.
The overarching message that emerges from these reviews is that there is no silver bullet for preventing or treating anxiety and depression in young people.
It was hard. It was hard. Yeah, it was. I couldn't see a way out. You see, people see people commit suicide, and the first thing they're like, "How dare you?" What people fail to understand is the torture, and the torture happens in your mind. My cousin saved my life because he came to my hostel, and he was checking up on me because I hadn't showed up in class. Nobody had seen me for a very long time, and he came to my hostel, and he told me, "Yo, let's go out and I'll get you stuff. Like let's just go out. Let's just take a walk." I felt so relieved. I felt like someone cares about me. I didn't tell him what I was thinking about, and I was so ashamed of even ever thinking about it. But I really appreciated the fact that somebody was looking out for me.
Hi, what's your name?
Stanley.
Okay, have you ever been a victim of mental illness?
Probably, but explain to me the meaning of mental illness.
Okay, mental illness is the state where you're feeling like you're depressed, you're feeling anxiety. Have you ever been in a certain situation?
Yeah, first of all, there's something that is called sometimes uwe. Yeah. Sad nigga hours. Yeah, probably, yeah. Most of the time, like, according to me, if it's that, I've undergone through.
Okay, and which steps did you take, like maybe going to seek consultation or take some medication? Did you do such?
Consultation, really? No. I've never had a consultation. Never.
You just tackled it like a man?
You just sit down, listen to music, yeah, and maybe take a cold shower, then you sleep.
Hello everyone, my name is Lina. I'm a supervisor dealing with students in one of the hostels. Yeah, now I want to talk about mental health and mental issues. First and foremost, you find that students are not able to pay accommodation on time. So when you try to go visit them room by room, some of the reason they give you, like, oh, it's their parents, they're not meeting their target. So when you try to figure out to remove them from the room, is like giving them stress, and most of them now become depressed because they can't meet the targets of payment. The second one is academics. After cuts, you find that some of them, maybe the release of the cut, they have not performed well. So trying to see some of the students, I interact with them, then I question them, oh, why do you look so down, or why are you so low? You find out some of the reason they're giving you is like, I've not performed well in academics. Then the other rule is, the other thing is 10 to 10 rule. You find out that most of the students, they don't like the rule that we are giving them, because they're finding out that we are really minimizing them from interacting with their colleagues. Yes, they cannot interact well. Yeah, that's all.
This is a condition that people just get because of, childbirth. What happens is that when a woman is pregnant, the estrogen and the progesterone levels really go high, and after giving birth, they just drop significantly. And because of that change of hormones, for some women, they get now the postpartum depression. and also because either probably because of the pain, their system is not able to, really process the birth pain when they are going through it. But for different women, because there are those who still give birth and don't go through postpartum depression. So it's a kind of depression that is only after childbirth, and the symptoms will show up after 2 weeks or after a month. But the symptoms now are similar to the symptoms of depression. That is why we call it postpartum depression, because it is after childbirth.
Along with UNICEF reports, these two studies underscore the transformational part that funders must urgently play, and why researchers, clinicians must work together, or more studies that genuinely involve young people are co-investigators. Together, we can all do better to create a brighter, healthier future for a generation of young people facing more challenges than ever before.